Hi guys, this is Courtney VIP. This is my first official YouTube video. So you see me right now, I'm looking kind of rough. Curls are flat, skin is sweaty. It's hot outside here. I'm in Atlanta, and I kind of decided, you know what, it's time for me to record my YouTube video. I've been wanting to do it for a very long time. I don't know, it just never manifested. I keep thinking I need the right equipment, and I need more lighting, and I need this, and I need that, and I need that, and I need this, and you know what, it just hasn't happened yet. So the thing that I kind of wanted to talk about today is just being non-binary. And for a lot of you, if you don't know what non-binary is, it just means that your gender does not fit into the spectrum completely of man or woman. Non-binary could mean a lot of different things, but for me, non-binary means that I don't feel like a boy, and I'm really okay with that. I don't feel like a boy, and I don't want to be a woman. I'm somewhat in between, but even that doesn't really feel true for me. I'm more like on a scale of 1 to 10, I would be like a 7. A 7 more feeling more like a girl than a boy. And I need to do the gender tag video if to get like a more in-depth intro about my gender identity, but yeah. That's how I initially would describe being non-binary. And I kind of wanted to just talk about what being black and non-binary is. You know, the African American culture is very, very binary. A man needs to be a man. Black men tend to be kind of hyper masculine. And again, I'm saying all this from my experience. So I know not all black men, but in my experience, most black men try to live up to this aspiration of hyper masculinity, which, you know, nobody ever really reaches to, but it's the goal. And a lot of black women, in my experience, have been very, very binary and wanting to protect, you know, what womanhood is and wanting to be a little bit exclusive, you know. I don't know. I think that's just how our culture is right now. And hopefully me and other people who kind of come out and say, you know what, we do exist. And we don't fit into your neat little categories. And that there's nothing wrong with having something in between. And that doesn't necessarily threaten your identity of your gender. You know, me identifying as feminine of center doesn't affect or threaten your femininity. I don't know. It's a complicated topic for some people, and a lot of people become very defensive when you point out their transphobia and their boundaries of defining gender and how you should perform your gender. I really would like a lot of other black and non-binary people to come out, us queer folk, to really kind of just advocate for, you know what, we can be gender benders and still be treated with respect, still be validated, still be understood. You know, we don't have to kind of sometimes dive into this us versus them mentality. We can be inclusive. I mean, gender is on a spectrum, and a lot of us are just on the opposite of the spectrums that you think that we should be on, or that cis people think we should be on. And again, that's okay. I kind of want to kind of end this video on talking about cis validation and cis approval. I was just having a conversation with someone the other day about how us trans folk, and again, I do identify as a non-binary transgender person, you know, we really, really want cis approval so bad. Sometimes we're like so desperate for it, and I don't know why. You know, I can talk about myself. You know, sometimes I really just want, you know, men to see me for who I really am. But I think, you know, men are very visual. And if you don't look like a woman, then you're just a man. And they get angry at you for trying to blur that line, you know. And that's when you get the punks and the sissies and the F words and all the other hurtful slurs that men will kind of throw out at you when you're blurring blurring that gender line. And at the same time, you know, us as non-binary trans folks, we want to be like, fuck you, fuck, you know, your definition and the policing of my gender. But we also want that respect. And it's such a weird dichotomy just to try to live in, where fuck you, cisgender, heterosexual people, I don't really need you. And then yet I really want to be approved by society as a whole and not be misgendered and slurred and at the base of transphobic policies and unkindness. One thing in me, I think, is that even though I kind of act very feminine, I don't really look very feminine. You know, my hair, I look like a gay male. And for the longest, I really identified as a gay male until I realized that my gender issues, again, weren't that of a boy. But I guess until I become super, super feminine, most men will not treat me the way I probably want to be treated. So I have to be aware of that. And I don't have to, but I choose to take more steps to readily that. I do want to get FSS. You know, I do want to get that Coke bottle silhouette figure, that brick house figure. You know, and I am going to take steps to kind of go to that and accomplish that. So, you know, this is my first YouTube video. Again, I would like you guys to rate, comment, and subscribe. You know, if you would like me to talk about any topics within being black and being trans, or, you know, kind of identifying as I do as this person who lives in Atlanta, please kind of leave it in the comments. If you want to say negative comments, you know what? Screw you, and you'll be deleted and you'll be blocked. And I will also read you a good one. So, again, this is Courtney. Very inspiring person. I guess, you know, I was trying to think of something after each video to say, but I can't think of